What's up, y'all? It's the homie JClay. I'm going to try to take this video because I want to make my life easier. I don't want to be editing. See that? I probably would have cut it out, but I'm not because I'm taking it. So I wanted to give y'all a behind the scenes story of Let Go and how it came to be. But something before I get into that I'm actively doing is not sharing personal stories, not dwelling in the past and giving it any attention, essentially because the past is a distraction. It doesn't exist. It only exists in our minds, and we only see it based on how we perceive certain things. And so we might draw these conclusions from it because of one or two situations and think that's it. Like, no, this is how life is because this happened to me at this one time. And then we miss out on just all the beautiful nature and just things that have unfolded. And the reason I'm sharing this is because a lot of people have had questions about how I came up with Let Go, the album that it's on, how I know what I know, why I'm doing this, all of this. And I figured I'll go ahead, I'll dive into it and share it for everybody so it'll be available. And then that way I can direct people to it instead of me personally bringing it up, going back there in my mind each time so I can just really enjoy things. But as a quick exercise, just for you, the next time you're in a situation, I'm not telling you to stop doing this because I'll get into why later, but just see if you can control the urge to share your personal story on a subject. Like, just be in a situation, somebody like, yeah, man, I remember one time I tripped and fell and this happened, and then you might have a trip and fall story that you're just dying to tell. It's like the urge is just growing. See if you can suppress it. Just see. And you'll be interested just to see what happens. I'll leave it at that. Now, the story of Let Go. So the story of Let Go is also the story of, oh yeah, hold on. Got the merchandise I'm trying out. I actually got a t-shirt too. Y'all will probably see this on the site by the time it come out. I'm actually recording this on like December, is it 9th, 10th, one of these days. Beautiful Houston day. And yeah, so I just want to show y'all that. But it is windy, so yeah. Ugh. Okay, back to the story of Let Go and the story of the album. I'm not gonna name the name of the album because I don't want y'all to get caught up in that yet. It's a powerful name. I'm proud of it. It's dopeness. So I'll just leave it at that. So all through my life, I've been a curious kid. People said I'm smart. I'm able to understand things easily. And with that, I always wanted to know more. Not necessarily more. I just wanted to understand. Just understand why things are the way they are. Like, why is there evil in the world? Why do people suffer? Why do we gotta wipe our booty when we boo-boo? You know, it's just an example. I actually got an answer to that, like a real answer where you won't have to if you eat a certain way, but that's another story too, which is like, that makes sense. But then we changed our diet, we had to get toilet paper and all that other stuff. But another story, okay. So throughout life, I went looking for these answers from certain things. One of the first places was church. I didn't grow up necessarily a church goer, but I had people around me that really believed in God and the Bible. And I always believed in God. I don't know where that belief came from. I really don't. I've even questioned it because I like to question all of my beliefs and, go against it and see what remains. But I've always had a relationship with God, just talking to God and, asking questions, sometimes getting answers, whoop-de-whoop. See, I would have edited that right there. I'm not going to edit. I'm not going to even say that I'm not going to edit something no more. But I'll look at y'all and y'all know. Whoop-de-whoop. So that led me to the Bible because I wanted to know the rules of life. So I probably read the Bible a bunch of times, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, listening to the audiobook over and over. And each time I got something new from it, new understanding, but they were still unanswered questions. And people who were lifelong churchgoers or that, outwardly preached about God, I would go to them for certain answers, certain things that didn't make sense in the Bible, certain contradictions. And people didn't like those questions. They were like, it just is. You shouldn't ask those or things of that nature, or people couldn't tell me, or some people even distanced themselves. Like, they figured it was blasphemy at some point. But, I never faulted them for it. I understood. But I kept living life. I made my own judgments and conclusions about why things were. And then something happened. The universe would drop another knowledge bomb on me, and it always came in waves. And so essentially the most recent one, it's still unfolding, but it came about a year ago, maybe, yeah, about a year and a half ago, I'd say. Maybe 2 years now. I don't even know about time anymore. So it happened, and it changed everything. Changed everything. I got the knowledge I was looking for. I understood how someone like Jesus could walk on water, could heal others. And essentially, it's actually not even healing. It's the power that we all possess, as they would call it, the Christ consciousness, the Christ that's inside of us, or the God that's inside of us all. And without getting too deep into that now, I'll just say that anything one person can do, all people can do. And it's with everything. Like we didn't walk the first time we walked. You know, we failed a bunch of times, or we failed at walking, but it's not even failure, because that's a part of walking. You can read all you want to about how to walk. Let's say you could read as a baby before you knew how to walk, and you could just understand everything, the concept of walking, putting one foot in front of the other. Until you try, you still just won't know how to walk. So it's all a part of the process. And that's the same thing with healing all things, or being able to do what people deem impossible, as we still see impossible every day, not only through athletes, but just in business and trades and thoughts, everything. It's all there. All the examples are there. So I got that knowledge bomb drop, and it hit me in the face. It was the truth. And one thing about whenever I come across new information, I try to test it. I try to say, well, what about this? What about, like, I pit it against itself, and it rang true. Like, that's the thing about truth. Truth is true for all. It never changes. It's not one way for me, another way for them, another way for a piece of chalk. Truth is the truth, no matter what, throughout time, throughout whatever. And I understood that. So, but being faced with that came to realization, like, man, I gotta live this. If this is what I truly want, if I want this natural state of peace and happiness that I know is ours, I have to be willing to live it, you know, to not be engulfed in illusions. And so I wanted to learn it. And part of what was revealed to me is, which we all know, learning and teaching are one. To truly learn something, you have to teach it. But to truly teach something, you have to learn it. Kind of like giving and receiving are one. If you give somebody a gift that they really wanted and their face lights up, you receive that same joy in that exact moment. But if you give somebody an insult and they face frown up, you receive that, whatever that is, in the exact moment is them. Like, whatever you give, you receive. Whatever you receive, you give. It's all one, such as learning and teaching. So I knew that to go to the next level, I had to teach this to some people. So people in my circle, I started slipping out things from them, not sure how they'll take it, but everybody took it well. Again, that truth is, you can't deny it. It's undeniable. And so I thought, okay, to really do this changes everything. I can't make music about this, because that's putting more of the non-truth into the ether. I got to change things up. But can I make music like this that's not corny, that's dope, that people would play over and over again and serves as mantras to their lives, whether they realize that they're listening to it or not? Because, you know, sometimes we can listen unconsciously. I personally don't do that anymore. I've made a practice of consciously listening to everything. So even if I hear something that I don't agree with, I'm telling myself, well, I don't agree with it. I can still listen to it, but it's not like I have to distance myself from it, because I'm now at that point where everything is conscious. Well, more conscious than it was before. I can't say everything yet. So what came next was around the same time, there was an ASMR artist who she has a big following, huge following. She said, if anybody wants to collab on something, no matter what your field is, reach out to me. So I reached out to her, told her I did music, and I leveraged my kids' educational company, because I know it gets a lot of, oh, that's so nice, oh, you guys are great for that. What that is everychildwins.com. We make music that helps kids learn the basics, like the alphabet, numbers, colors, shapes, all of these things. And it's dope. Like it's catchy. It's so catchy that parents have told us that they've listened without their kids before. And we've done a lot of performances at schools. We've collaborated with nonprofits. Shout out to United Way. Shout out to a lot of people. It's not about that. It's not about that. But I included links to that, and she was impressed. She wanted to do some stuff, see if we can kind of cross promote. But she was also speaking about spirituality things of that. I was wondering, how did she come to that information? Because I know how I came to it, and I was just like, man, it's wonderful that in this other path she did too. But I'm finding so many others have too, because it's truth. I mean, it's always been there. It's just that we choose to look at other things instead. Now, we talked. We did a Skype call. I said I'd come up with some ideas. I did. I recorded a duet where it's talking about being in the moment, kind of, but through a couple dispute, pointing out things that we might not see for ourselves. And I sent it to her. She liked it, but it never really went any further. So I don't know if she didn't feel it was for her or, but it was no hard feelings. Like we still converse every now and then, and we're cool. But the fact is that kind of stepped me in the right direction. So then I was like, can I make another song let's just see, can I still make tight songs in this realm? So I made one called Shine Blind, which is like an introduction to all of this. And it was dope. It was cool. It was catchy. I could see kids dancing to it. I may even release it as my third single. But then after that, I made it. I was proud of it. I said, okay, can I make a smash hit single? Like a smash, nobody can deny this song, but they don't even realize that it's teaching. It's you getting wisdom from it. So I made it. It's called I Like You That Way. And it's kind of a relationship song too, because a lot of people connect with relationships, like having that special someone. And so I recorded it. I think it's a hit. People I let listen to here is like, man, this is awesome. So bam, we got something. I don't know if at this point I started formulating the album or not, but I started working on a few songs at that point because I knew certain subjects that I wanted to hit. But when I write songs, all of it doesn't come at once. So and I don't force it. I want it to flow naturally. I want to be in that creative space. So I went in 2018, Thanksgiving of 2018. I was in London, and I just went by myself. I had the opportunity to have rewards points from credit cards, free trip. Yeah, it's good stuff. And while I was there, I said, well, why not hit up an open mic? I can test the music on the strength of the music, because nobody knows me here. Nobody has any reason to know me here. I know nothing about London and the culture. I'm just gonna go to an open mic. Went to an open mic, and the host actually was from the US, the United States. I think from the East Coast somewhere. So I talked to him, we signed up, all the artists signed up for the list, and I did my thing. So I did that Shine Blind song I told y'all about, and then I did I Like You That Way. And I shut that mug down in a good way. So when I was doing the first song, people, they was listening, they was grooving, they was like, okay, he's really saying some things. I looked over at the host, he just into it. He jamming, people dancing. I might share that video because I had somebody that was there to record me. And what happened next? So yeah, I did that song. People was like, okay, cool. So I said, I got one more. This one for the ladies. Blah, blah, blah. So I spitting it, and if the camera phones wasn't out yet, they came out. Like they really did come out. And so much so that the person that was recording me said that somebody tried to move them over so they could see, and then like the bouncers or the security guards, they came from outside, they was looking, like everybody was into it. And so, I stayed for the remainder of the performances because I think I was one of the earlier acts. It might have been like 20 people that was on. And when it was all over, the host came up to me, he was like, man, you did this, right? I was like, what you mean? He said, I've been doing this for a while now, and the same people come. Sometimes they do the same song, sometimes they switch it up. But with what you brought, they all turned it up to a higher level. Like, just look at the energy, look at the.
That's me. I'm JClay.
I forgot how he worded it, but it was just cool to see, and that's when I really knew, like, okay, I got something. I have to do this at that point. And I don't know if it happened then, but I started to receive the message: just finish the album, just finish the album. So like, what about this? Just finish the album. So I'm still working my day job, and I remember driving to work one day. It was February. I was listening to beats, beats I want to rap to. Came across the one for instrumental for Let Go. It was by Majestic Drama. And man, y'all know how that beat goes. It's like, it's calm, get hype, go back calm, get hype. It reminded me of something like Meek Mill's has done before. Like, it just, because he has that intensity in his voice, but then he takes it up another level with the beat drop. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. Because I wanted something that showed, one, that I can rap, something that broke through to you like so hard, like it's the for real super duper truth. Y'all know what I'm saying. Just can't deny it. And I wanted that, and part of my ego was tied into that too. I wanted people to know, like, I'm not just doing this. I rap. I make music. This is what I do. This is my thing. This is my gift that I want to share with you all. And so, I had to make that known. But it's funny, but at the same time, I didn't care about that too, because that's part of me not sharing stories and things, working to let go of that ego, period, like completely void of it, where we are all one. It's not about me, it's us. And to sum it up, it's like we're all fingers on the same hand. So like, if our fingers all were given consciousness, what would happen? But if we work together, all the beautiful things, we can play a guitar, we can hold hands, we can massage. But if we fighting, we might look insane to somebody on the outside, or we can't get the level of strength that we could, or it look like we're throwing up the middle finger to somebody. But I even got a song about that, but that's coming later. So, driving to work, coming up with it, I hear this first thing. I was like, man, I had some friends I was mentoring to at the time that had a hard time letting go. They kept rehashing things that happened to them, and I was like, I gotta get this let go. So let go, that means you're holding on to something. Why are you holding on? You don't need that. Yeah. So I'm like, okay. I think the next line I wrote was, you think you're on your own, you believe that? Something like that, but it didn't flow. As Napoleon Hill pointed out, some of y'all will know who he is, an author, a success author, actually, and an author that writes about success and Think and Grow Rich, all those kind of books. He spoke about that when you're writing, you must first neutralize the reader before trying to get them to accept new ideas. So I was like, okay, I can do better than that. I can get a better second line. Why you holding on? You don't need that. They just feeding beer super strong. You don't eat that. Yeah. So I'm hype at this point. I'm like, man, this finna go hard. So I used that other line I told you about. Came up with the next line. So then the beat drops. I'm like, man, I'm gonna come in. I gotta do something. Like, oh, but you feel it strip because your grip tight. It didn't come out that perfect the first time, but it was close, and I kind of tightened it up. And so I'm probably almost at work at this point. Probably the fastest drive through traffic ever. So I worked at NASA, and a subcontract under NASA, but we worked on the NASA campus in Houston. And twice a day we can take these 15-minute breaks, which I would take outside because they had a beautiful campus. It had deer roaming about, squirrels, you might see some snakes, you might see some armadillos. First time I saw a real armadillo. And penguins, not penguins, what would I say, penguins? Ducks, yeah, I said ducks already. But yeah, anyway, it's a beautiful scenery. So I'm walking around writing the rest of this first verse, but I'm trying to remain calm because you don't know who's watching you. Your corporate job. I can't walk around like, yeah, don't need that. Yeah, all of that. So I'm trying to, people want to talk to you. They sense your energy. They're like, oh, what's up, Jelani? Hey, how things going? Blah, 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 whoop-de-whoop. And yeah, so I just couldn't wait to go home that day. But I don't know if I went home late or maybe I had to stay because I had to do my workout and then go home. So anyway, I'm driving home, still working on the first verse. And I remember I got almost to the I had it worse part, the breakdown. Excuse me. And the windows were cracked. It was February, but we finally had a nice weather day. And I know that's for people up north. I'm from Chicago originally. Some of y'all know that. That's unheard of in February. And see, even that would just happen with me sharing that I'm from Chicago. Why should that even matter, you know? But the ego part of me feels like that gives me some kind of credibility or something. And yeah, it's just be conscious of things like that. So anyway, the windows was cracked. It was a nice day, driving home. I got most of the first verse done, and I put up to a light. So I just ended saying it, but I wanted to go back and restart and see what I got. I noticed that the people in the car next to me were kind of listening, but I was so caught up in it, it was like, okay, forget all that, spit this mug. So started spitting the verse, and I see them break out the phone. The beat drop came, I went in, all I heard was, oh! So now I'm real hyped. I'm getting it, but again, I don't want to stop and pose for the camera. I just want to get home and record this, so I don't necessarily forget how I go or none of that, even though I might have recorded a quick little memo on my phone or something. But anyway, so I pull off like right to the part that I got stuck. You know, it was planned a little bit, and yeah. So I went home. I probably finished that verse. I was hyped. The next few days, I started working on the second verse, and I was gonna end it like that. I didn't know if I should have a chorus or not. I really wanted to repeat the strength of "Let Go" to really emphasize, like, for real, let go. Like, no, seriously, let go. Like, hey man, hey, let go. And I wanted that, so it was gonna be a 2-verse song with that in between. But after the first verse, it just didn't flow into the chorus, and so I was gonna end on the chorus. But when I did the song from start to finish, you know, like when you're writing, you might take a break so you miss part of the beat or whatever. When I did from start to finish, I had enough left for the third verse. And I promise, it's like God gave me the line. Well, really, you could say that for all the lines, really, because you go into this creative space where you can't necessarily you get the credit for it, but you can't take credit for it. And after I said the last "let go," thinking that you woke, but you still tired, yeah. Wanting God to take the wheel, but you still drive, yeah. And I was crunk at that point. It brought me back to the ciphers that we used to do, which you can probably find on YouTube, where I wasn't always on positivity like I am now, but I was on some of them. That's neither here nor there. But it brought me to that style. It was like punchline rapping, but it was still teaching, and I really knew I had something, so I wrapped it up. One thing I wanted to point out too, because I feel like people might take it two ways when I said, tell me, who are you without your history? People might believe like, man, that's why you gotta know your history, man. You gotta know your history. But I'm actually advising against it, like with not sharing your story, and everybody can be a part of it. Like in a way, history divides. It gives you a team to root for. It's saying because this happened to you, that's all that can happen to you. But again, like we learned from the example of learning to walk, if we believe that what happened to us would always happen, we'd never walk, because what happened to us was we kept falling when we was trying to learn how to walk. And I just knew I had something from there. And so I'm coming to y'all now with this album. Man, this album dope, y'all. Like it really, and I'm glad I finished it too, because I ended up quitting my job a month after the song was finished being recorded, so I could work on the album. Like circumstances aligned, and it was with me believing, like truly believing in the power that I have, that I don't need a job. I knew I shouldn't have been there. There's nothing wrong with a job, but for me personally, I knew I should have never been there. And I was at that job for 14 years while trying to make it in music. And now it's like, it's not even about making it, it's about giving a message so that we can all benefit from it. And I was gonna wrap this up, but I got one more message that I want to share that's very relevant. It's from KRS-One, one of the pioneers in rap, who's still doing it, who's still crushing it. He's still getting it. He spoke about, I watched the video on his, and I'm paraphrasing, so if I mess it up, my bad. He spoke about how if you and your homeboy, y'all just chilling, like I'm chilling right here, like if I had a homeboy right here, and he say, man, you know, I think I want to rap. And I'm like, okay, spit something. So he spit. Let's say I didn't like it, or I thought it was trash, or just whatever. You know, who am I to judge? How do I know what trash is? But that's another story. But let's say I thought that, hey man, nah, you shouldn't rap, man. It's not your thing. Oh, okay, cool. And then story ends there. We both stuck in our same situation. But had I said something that I truly admired, not lie, but actually find something that I like. Like, man, yo, delivery, ooh, that delivery right there, man. If you tighten up some of the lyrics of that delivery, you got something, man. We can change the world. You can change the world. Like, if you do that, you now have an opportunity. Opportunity is created where you and he can transform your situation or do something better. And essentially, we can do that for the whole world. Like, everybody can support each other no matter what. I know you might be thinking, I don't want no fake world, lovey-dovey, all that. But love is all there is. Everybody wants love. And if you're doing something that's not of love, it's just a cry for love. But how do we respond? We respond with not love to somebody that's showing not love. And so nobody shows love. But if you respond with love, eventually like, oh, okay, but dang, this person is just loving no matter what. Man, okay, yeah, I'm with you. I got your back. Let's do this. I can do this. And it benefits everybody. Like that one person that created that company that has that product that you use regularly, that was because somebody believed in that, or somebody believed in them and wanted to share that with you. So it's all connected in infinite amount of ways, and it's real cool. And so, yeah, I'll end it there. Give me a moment. Let me think. Is there anything else I want to say about this? Just stay tuned to the album. Share this. Please share this to anybody that needs it. Jam it over and over again. It will heal you. It will help you. The entire album is designed for that. I don't have a release date yet. It just depends on the reception of the song. So if it reaches a certain amount of people within a certain amount of time, I can go ahead and just knock it out. But if not, I'll probably drip it a little bit, like release another single in 2 to 3 months, and then another one after that, and then drop the album. But yeah, if you want to help in any way, help, please. I appreciate it. Hit me up. I'm at JClay.org. That's my actual email address. I am @JClay.org. And let's get it, because we got it and it's good. JClay.